2822 News presents Newsmakers with your hosts Jane Ann Bugda and Andy Mahalchik.
Hello and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Andy Mahalchik.
And I'm Jane Ann Bugda. Today we are focusing on the Ignatian Volunteer Corps of NDPA. It's a program that enriches the lives of retirees by volunteering.
We'll learn more about IVC opportunities and how this group is making a big-time difference in our community. Coming up, meet our guests.
And our conversation begins when this edition of Newsmakers returns right after this. Welcome back to Newsmakers. I'm Jane Ann Bugda along with Andy Mahalchik, and we have a very interesting program today because it's about volunteering, but volunteering for the 50-plus set. So it's what do you do when you retire?
And it's, you know, and what we love really a lot about Newsmakers is we get a chance to focus on groups that maybe are out there doing such great work in our community, but don't really get the attention and focus they deserve. So today we're going to be talking to the Ignatian Volunteer Corps of Northeast Pennsylvania. Take it away, Miss Jane.
Okay, and we are joined by Teddy Michael, who is the Regional Director of the Ignatian Volunteer Corps, Mary Priest-Homain, who I hear is an all-star volunteer, and Rob Williams, who's the Executive Director of St. Francis Kitchen, Scranton. So we want to know all about the volunteers. They are very, very busy, and we are hoping to increase your ranks and maybe get more people involved and get more organizations involved. So, Teddy, give us a little bit of a history of the Ignatian Volunteer Corps.
Yeah, a little bit about our Ignatian Volunteer Corps program. We started in this area back in 2017 at the University of Scranton, and what we are is we invite people, like you said, who are retired, and you can do so much in your retirement. There's grandkids, there's golf, there's travel, there's watching WBRE, reading about what's going on online. And for those that would like to serve, and our area is so blessed to have so many amazing nonprofit organizations where people can contribute and make a meaningful difference in their retired lives. And part of our Ignatian Volunteer Corps program is sharing our mission and our word through opportunities like this to invite people to learn more about us. And we're like a tree with two main branches. We have the service branch where we have volunteers like Mary serve at agencies like Rob's at St. Francis for 8 hours a week for a 10-month commitment. That's our one main branch. The second branch is for individuals that are looking to grow their faith journey or find some meaningfulness in life. We have a faith formation community reflection where we gather once a month to grow and deepen, to do good, and to grow in our personal and our faith lives. It's a real neat opportunity for those that are looking to do a little bit more.
And, you know, talking about those who are, you know, the mature citizens in the area, and speaking as a grandfather too, you know, we're very busy with grandkids and that kind of thing, but there's always time you could give to your community. And so, and people who are retired have more time. And so I would think, but how do you reach those folks? This is one way, which helps, but how do you get out the word in the community, Teddy, to say, listen, maybe this is for you?
And we've been blessed in that we have a lot of support through the Diocese of Scranton, local parishes in Lackawanna County, and we're slowly working our way down into Pittston and the Wyoming Valley, have been very supportive of inviting me to come in and speak at some of their masses on the community. In addition to the regular print and social media, we've had articles about our program. The Catholic Light has been a great supporter. And really, the strongest advocate in the way we can get our mission across is through our volunteers themselves and through our partner agency directors, because you can sit here and listen to me for 10 or 15 minutes, but the proof is in the pudding. And when you hear the stories from Mary and from Rob, you'll really start to see that IVC is all about trying to be a better person to do better things.
So Mary, how did you get involved?
Well, it's interesting. I think retirement, the term retirement, is quite interesting. And I really had no plans. All of a sudden, I spent my whole life honing my skills and crafts, and then you're 65 and what do you do? So initially I had fun. I played pickleball, I played tennis, I played bridge, I played in the garden, I swam, but my grandfather always said something to me, and he always said, try to push just a little further. So I was really searching for something. I was introduced to Ted, and he talked to me quite a bit about the Ignatians, but I just wasn't sure. Just felt like I had to study a little more. I didn't know if I wanted to be committed, and two things happened to me. I was visiting a school and at an event, and I noticed there was a homeless man sitting up on a bench. And I got out of the car, and when I did, I tripped and fell. I mean, all over. My glasses went one way, my purse went another way, and he was the first one that came to help me. And I noticed him later. He was just kind of sitting on the bench, minding his own business. A few weeks later, Ted and I were at a meeting outside of the IVC organization at the senior center at Fallbrook in Carbondale. And as we came out of the meeting, a woman came up to me and in a wheelchair, and she took my hand and asked me my name. When I told her, she said, "Oh, I took care of your mother in the nursing home," and she was just wonderful. On my way home that day, it finally hit me, what my grandfather had said, "Mary, it is time for you to do something." So I contacted Teddy, and I became a member, full-fledged, and started at the nursing home, or at the senior center in Carbondale. And because of that, I then transferred into the working with the food distribution from the Weinberg Foundation, and then went on to help with the clothing trailer through St. Francis Kitchen. Aside from IVC, I've also done, and I'm involved in prison ministry and, of course, parish work. So I think service has always been very important to me, and this is a perfect opportunity.
And it's a wonderful way to get out in the community and meet others and serve, and why sit at home when you can get out and do better for someone else?
Right.
Rob, how have these volunteers helped you?
You know, as I'm sitting here looking at the flyers for IVC and realizing that that's St. Francis Kitchen in that picture, I'm proud to say that St. Francis was one of the first, if not the first, partner organization in Northeast Pennsylvania. And they've been a tremendous help to us, not only in the work that they do and the service that they do, but that sense of ministry and service connected with each other, that sense of spirituality and that sense of love for God and for His people. You know, it just kind of impacts the whole culture, I think.
Do you think, and I know, this day and age where everything's get done 2 days ago, not yesterday, get done, and it's so fast-paced, and with social media and the electronic footprint, we all have one. Is it hard to get volunteers? In other words, well, whether you're retired or not, especially retirees, is it hard to get volunteers to come forward? In other words, because we're so busy with things, is it still a challenge?
It's a great question, and I think it gets to something that my dad always said, and maybe it's just me, but I'm generally a person that doesn't get in something right away on the first time, nor the second time, or the third or fourth. Usually I need 5 or 6 times, or to hear about something 5 or 6 different ways before you think to yourself, oh my gosh, I can see myself doing this. It's similar to how we invite individuals to learn more about our program. You'll hear about us maybe at your parish, maybe on this segment, maybe you'll read an article in the paper, maybe you'll be at St. Francis or hear a story from Mary. And then generally just something clicks. Like Mary's story, why it's so meaningful and special is that you don't have to be anything other than who you are to be a successful volunteer. Whether it's with our program or Volunteers of America, there are so many good nonprofits. There is an ethic of service that exists in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
In coming from Minnesota and being here for almost 20 years, it is real. There is an ethic of service in this community, and that all I and we try and do is to continue to extend the invitation on the one hand, and on the second hand, make sure the program is ready to go, that when somebody feels moved to say, hey, Teddy, let's have a cup of coffee, we're ready to go.
And let me ask you, Teddy, and for volunteers, someone out there watching, what is the criteria for signing up, and do you have to be Catholic?
You do not. So the criteria is 50 and above, and we ask all of our IVC members, the expectation is to commit 8 hours of service a week for 10 months. So it's a higher level of service. It's a higher hourly requirement, and that builds in consistency at the agencies that our IVC members serve at St. Francis and Friends of the Poor and St. Joe's and so many others. So the one branch, the requirement is 8 hours of service. The other, you don't have to be Catholic, no blood test.
No retina scan.
No retina scan, no thumbprint. But I think it's almost like that childlike desire to say, is there something more? So the expectation for our program is that IVC members are willing to stretch themselves. That when we come together for a monthly reflection meeting at the IHM Center on Marywood's campus, we engage in conversation, a 60-minute conversation in small groups. And it's you don't have to speak if you don't want to, but the expectation is that there's this desire, there's this yearning, and I'm not sure if I can adequately put words to it, in this social supported community, I think.
If I could say that one of the things that Teddy and the IVC of Northeast Pennsylvania do really well is to find a match, to find the right fit. We've had people that came to have tours of St. Francis. Some have come with us and volunteered with us. Some have not. Most have come with us. But, but it's not like a hard sell to say, we need to get you into IVC or we need to get you into this placement. It's a real beautiful and organic kind of process of getting to the right fit and the right match.
And it's interesting you're mentioning about Mary's story, which is special. You end up falling in front of a homeless person, and you're busy in your garden and playing pickleball. And quite frankly, folks, I didn't know what pickleball was until about 6 months ago. I said, "What is this thing?" Then I find out it's like a worldwide rave thing. But pickleball didn't do it for you.
But she probably still plays.
And as you get sure to get closer to retirement, like many, you get over 65 or whatever, but you have all this life experience, and I always felt that. And volunteers are great at any age, but I think you get, and I'm getting there eventually, you have all this life experience, you've experienced so many things, but you've learned a lot about a lot of things. You might be a jack of all trades, master of none, but you know a lot of things out there. And Teddy, I would think you could tap into that, and you could use what you've honed your skills in so many different ways now that could benefit others.
I've had wonderful life experiences, and I've also had amazing people in my life who directed me and who shared their vision. Service has always been very important to me, and one thing that I will say that IVC has done, it has helped me understand that there is dignity in each person. Whether they're a homeless person sitting on the bench or whether there's a woman in a wheelchair, each person, or whether there's someone that I talk with in a prison, they all have dignity and they all should have respect. And I think that's one of the things that IVC, particularly our monthly meetings, has really helped develop that feeling in me. And it also has grounded me in faith.
Nobody should be minimized.
Absolutely.
Nobody.
Absolutely.
Now, we know there's evil in the world. You never say never, but no, it's tough when I see people minimized, and we see it a lot in our business. We cover the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I see sometimes people will do a story, and I'm watching, and I'm thinking that person's being marginalized.
Right.
And it seems like IVC makes sure that doesn't happen.
That's
because you'll find your fit.
Right, and that's the important thing. The match is so important. And that's what took me several months to find my way. But I knew when I went to the senior center and that woman grabbed my hand and I saw that gentleman sitting on the bench, I knew where my match was. And so since then, it has been just a wonderful experience.
And they say God works in mysterious ways.
Absolutely.
Well, I've seen, at least from my perspective in this business, sometimes he's not so mysterious.
Right.
It just says, listen, take action.
On the way home that day,
Right,
it
seriously.
kind of hit me.
I'm not
This
making
is
fun of
it.
it.
No.
I believe that totally
Yes.
in my experience and my life journey.
Yes.
What can be said for the 50-plus volunteer, a more mature volunteer corps? What does that bring to the organization? What type of a different type of calming or a different kind of
What's
experience
striking
level?
me right now is like a real generosity of spirit, right? So Mary's involvement with us is kind of a side hustle, it sounds like. Yeah, no, it's her 8-hour gig is something else. But when there was a need, she saw it and filled it. And so it's, for us, we partner with so many different organizations and so many different individuals that we have probably 200 weekly volunteers and we have 1,000 episodic volunteers. So we can't be calling people and reminding them every time there's a monthly. But Mary either shows up on the whatever Thursday of the month it is, or she gets somebody to cover for her. And so it's so generous and so giving and so thoughtful.
And how many volunteers do you have locally?
We have 30. We're relatively small. We have grown pretty incrementally, maybe 3 to 4 new IVC members, predominantly based in the Scranton-Lackawanna County area. However, we're slowly working our way down into the Wyoming Valley with service opportunities at Dress for Success Luzerne, Junior Achievement of Northeastern Pennsylvania, CEO in the Weinberg Food Bank. So
if somebody's watching out there and they're an organization or a group or a nonprofit that says, you know what, we need volunteers, but we need a different type of volunteer. We need a more mature volunteer. What do they need to do?
please call me. Call, email, www.ivcusa. Look us up on the internet. There'll be information with the information that will be going out from this show. I love coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. I'm generally a high energy type person. I don't need to drink a lot of coffee.
She sounds like somebody I know.
But I do. It starts with the conversation.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to continue our conversation. You're watching Newsmakers. We're on 2822news.com. We're going to find information on today's show there. We'll have everything that you're hearing today, phone numbers that you need. They have a very active Facebook page. And you are watching Newsmakers. We're a proud recipient of several PAB, Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasting, and Keystone Media Awards for public affairs programming in the state of Pennsylvania. And we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Newsmakers. Jane Ann Bugda along with Andy Mahalchik. The Ignatian Volunteer Corps of Northeast Pennsylvania is our topic today, joined by Teddy Michael, Mary Priest-Tormain, and Rob Williams. And we are talking about the volunteers that are 50 plus out there, and I get how you said it, on the encore of their life, getting out there into the community, doing something good. And one of the wonderful things that came out of this group is your clothing trailer. So tell us about that, how that all started and what happened.
So at St. Francis, we're very, very blessed to have a lot of support from the community, and people give us a huge amount of clothing. And if you've ever done anything in this world, you know that the sorting is just a big, big project. So IVC members would come and help us to sort clothes and get it ready. And they saw that we had more beautiful clothes than we could give away on our storefront on Penn Avenue in Scranton. And so Teddy came to me and said, if I won the lottery, I'd buy St. Francis a mobile distribution unit. I said, Teddy, forget the lottery, we should do this. Let's go. And you get me and Teddy in a room, we're a little excitable in case you didn't notice. And so that just started a huge amount of conversations and a great collaboration between St. Francis Kitchen and the Ignatian Volunteer Corps. Today, we have 8 monthly bookings with the trailer, and we're adding 2 or 3 more as we speak. And so the model is to have local people serve local people. So we get it full of clothing. we send it out to Carbondale, or we send it out to Wilkes-Barre and Hazleton and different spots around Scranton. And then local volunteers go in and give away clothes. Our theory is it doesn't matter if we give away those clothes or somebody else does, as long as that person that needs it gets it. So if we have 800 winter coats, we try and give away 800 winter coats. And this is a great tool to get there.
And the need is out there, and I don't care who's in the White House, what party's in control, there's always a need out there, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you seeing as far as, especially I see that trailer says, if you have some, give some. If you need some, take some. Is that what?
Right. Often we partner with churches and we park in their parking lot. And so it says St. Francis free clothing. If you have some, give some. If you need some, take some. So places like churches or community organizations, they help us on both the collection end of it and the distribution end of it. And I don't remember what the question was.
The need is out there.
But the need, that's what, right. The one point that I wanted to make is that for us in our clothing operation, we helped 300 to 350 people 5 years ago every month. Wow. Right now we're between 800 and 1,000. So in all areas of our ministry and service, the numbers are exploding over the last 5 years.
And Mary, I want to ask you this. Someone's watching at home. What do you say to them to get involved?
You will feel a whole lot better giving. And I'm sure that I have received much more than I've given. And I've never gone home without smiling on the way. So it's it really helps you develop a better understanding of the community and of yourself,
It's interesting, and my wife, who's the brains of the operations, anyone who knows that for sure. I've been doing this a long time. And again, the good, the bad, the ugly, reporting stories. I wish it was more good than bad, but there's evil in the world, we all know that. But anyway, she would always say to me, she still does, Andy, everybody has a story. If you're in a grocery store, you're at church, someone's smiling, they may be smiling, it doesn't mean their life is Disney World. But everyone has a story and everyone should be respected. And I always keep that in mind when I'm out there over the years doing stories, and everyone has a story, you just don't know that story.
That's absolutely right, and it reminds me at our last monthly meeting when we were sitting around at our table, one of our IVC members said, you just never know when you might be the answer to someone else's prayer.
That's true.
Right.
Tell us about the Night of Gratitude.
Every March, we've been able to have an evening at Scranton Prep where we'll honor an individual or an organization from the community and a partner. But Andy, you referred to it, that while evil may exist in a lot of different forms in this world, this is a night that our community can come together through the graces of our friends at Scranton Prep and others in the community and say, this is going to be our night of gratitude. This is going to be our night where we can be the champions of hope. Understanding that hope is a verb, hope is an action word, that we will invite people in, and we just want people to be together and to celebrate and to experience that gratitude and to say, just for one night, for 2 hours in one night, this is going to be our time. This is going to be our time to be the change that you want to see.
It's a good thing because we see the images, and again, are we tainted a little bit in this business? For sure, it's human nature, but you see how much nastiness is taking place around the world. And when you can have that kind of a night where you come together, that's a good thing. I think we need more of that.
It's important to realize that no matter what's happening in the world, what's happening in your world is important.
Right.
So the one person that you may help, or you may smile, or you may hand them a pair of shoes or a can of soup, you're helping the whole world become a better place.
And there's also other programs that you're involved with, two other volunteer efforts out there. So if someone's interested, doesn't fit that, you match them with something else as well. Where do you see yourself in the next few years? Where do you hope to be, Teddy? Where's your dream?
Well, as we talked a little bit before, I was a Wheel of Fortune contestant. So
We talked about that.
I was the guy with no money at the end of the show. I really want to be the chief cheerleader for service and one of the chief cheerleaders for our northeastern Pennsylvania community. There is a lot of talent in this region. In the nonprofit, in the private, we have a philanthropic sector, and to have an opportunity to be one of the chief cheerleaders for that, because understanding that we don't go to the margins to make a difference. We go to the margins to understand that those that we meet there will make a difference in us.
And you are making a difference in life. Our show is coming quickly to an end. I do want to remind everyone, information on today's show can be found on 2822news.com. We're also on the 2822 Now app, so you can find information there. Everything's on pahomepage.com, 2822news.com. Teddy, Mary, Rob, thank you so much for being out there in our community and doing what you do. You are a blessing.
Thank you very
and we
much.
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Thank you.
For Andy Mahalchik and everyone behind the scenes, thank you so much for making Newsmakers part of your day, and we'll talk again next time.